This is Rob Temple for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined by the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. We're here in Las Vegas ahead of his bout with Tom Schwartz. How you doing, Tyson?
Fantastic, Mosh. I'm a proper tourist. I've got my Las Vegas t-shirt on and I'm enjoying me days here.
When did you get out to Vegas?
A month ago.
How's it been?
Fantastic, Mosh. It's nothing but partying, pool parties, excitement on a daily basis.
Managed to squeeze in a little bit of boxing in between?
Nothing at all. We didn't come here to box, we come here to have a good time.
Tell me about training camp. I was speaking to Ben upstairs. Ben said the training camp was split for this fight. Tell me about that.
It was going to be because we did 4 weeks at home, 4 weeks here. It's gone well. I'm injury free. I feel all right. You know, I can't say I'm feeling the best I've ever felt because I don't know if I've ever felt the best I've ever felt.
Explain that.
I feel all right.
Explain that. What do you mean? You don't know whether the best you've ever felt? It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling as good as I've ever felt because I don't think I've ever felt as good as I can feel. So, but as far as we're up to this moment in my life and career, then I feel all right. Cushy mush.
No, I heard somewhere that this is the first time you've ever been to Vegas. Is that right?
Yeah.
Why was that? That surprised me.
I just didn't want to come here unless I boxed here. And it's the mecca of boxing, in my opinion. So, saved myself until this moment.
I took a short walk through Las Vegas earlier. It's Tyson Fury fever. It's everywhere. What's that like for you? You're a boxing man, you're a boxing historian, to finally headline in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand.
Las Vegas. Send me the location and I'll be right there. You're taking over the place. That's it. Cook, is this guy you said you didn't like? Rob. His name's Rob. What shall I say? Rob Harris. Tebben. Is this him or?
No, it's another Rob.
Is it Rob from BT you don't like?
No, I like Rob from BT. Where is it?
No, the other Rob from BT. There's two Robs.
It's Rob. You got Rob.
Tyson?
I thought that was my security detail team, mate.
It's got the grand arrivals here for you. Everybody's rolling out.
Tom Schwartz and all his friends.
Tell me about Tom Schwartz. I mean, going into this fight, it's the Tyson Fury show.
I don't know anything about him. Not one thing.
You watched him?
No. I don't need to.
Why is that?
I don't watch any of my opponents because they're heavyweights and they're going to do the same stuff as everybody else does. So I've seen it all before. 1-2, left hook, right hand, right uppercut, over the top punches, body shots. I've seen it all anyway. So I don't need to study them.
The last time we saw you in the ring was against Deontay Wilder. Again, I'd spoken to Ben at the time and he said that was kind of you at 70-80%. Now you're back in the ring. You've had the extra time with Ben. It's not been as much of a fat camp, I think, as Ben was referring it to. The weight's good. How beneficial do you think that time is going to be before you enter the ring?
What time?
The time that you've had since the Wilder fight. I mean, you've got 6 months
again
now.
for 6 months, so it's not ideal. But it is what it is. I've just had 6 months of activity last year, and I've had 6 months of no activity again this year. So it's like I'm starting again fresh, isn't it? So it's not been ideal. I've been ready to fight since January, but I'm fighting in June, 6 months later. But whatever, you know, I'm not going to complain. It is what it is.
You have to be mindful about burning out, potentially doing a little bit too much in the gym?
Yeah, you always got to be mindful about burning out. I feel burnt out right now, to be honest. So hopefully I'll feel all right on Saturday, though.
Now, you're somebody throughout your career, you've risen to the occasion when you boxed Vladimir Klitschko, you boxed Deontay Wilder. A lot of people had you as an underdog going in there. You won both fights, one draw aside. Is there any part of you that's kind of wary of, I mean, with all due respect to Tom Schwartz, he's not a Vladimir Klitschko, he's not a Deontay Wilder.
How do we know he's not, though? How do we know he's not the next world heavyweight champion? People say he's not this and he's not that. How do we know? He's unbeaten, he's never been tested at high level. Maybe he's going to raise to the occasion on Saturday night and knock me spark out, put me out of my misery. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We don't know until Saturday. That's why heavyweights are so interesting.
They're obviously coming off the back of one of the biggest upsets in recent heavyweight times a couple of weeks ago in New York.
Are you trying to spoil this lad's interview or what? No, he is, isn't he? Do you want to be in the camera or something? Yeah.
Kind of lost a little bit where we are there.
No idea what's going on. It's a very, very bizarre moment. I don't know what's going on.
What's bizarre?
Your beard, for a start.
It's not the first time I've been told that recently. First time that you've You've boxed in Las Vegas. Obviously, you've had your experiences in America in the past. The first time you've boxed under the top ranking ESPN banner. How important is it for you to put on a show this weekend and really make a statement?
It's very important for me to be myself and not try and be somebody else. I just do what the Gypsy King does, and that's it. I'll be successful. If I try and be somebody else, not myself, then I won't be successful. Because as we've seen, everybody can't be successful at this level.
Correct me if I'm wrong, sensing an undertone of Anthony Joshua or Andy Ruiz there.
I'm not undertoning anybody. I'm just saying it's very hard to be successful at this level for long periods of time. You know, I've been unbeaten now for 11 years as a professional, and it's been a lot of hard work and dedication, and it doesn't come overnight.
This second...
Half my life, I've been boxing more than half my life. I've been boxing more than half my life, so it's been a long time.
You kind of referred to that at various different stages of your career, how long you've been doing it. You obviously had your time away from the ring. Do you feel revitalised by that, refreshed now in this second chapter of your career?
Yep, I feel 100% refreshed.
Good. Okay, well, I think that's about enough. Tyson Fury.
Questions?
I have plenty of questions, but I sense that we're a little bit time restricted here.
I think we can do a couple more.
It's a bit of a car crash, to be honest.
I'm expecting a little bit more. Come on. Nice, something good, interesting, different.
Interesting, different. Okay. How old were you when you had your first fight?
Oh, I was 16 years old because I couldn't get a fight because I was too big. I only had... there was only 3 junior super heavyweights in the country, and one of the other guys knocked out the other one, and I knocked out the number one, and I became the number 1 junior in Britain to one amateur fight. So, and then I moved up into senior, and I started fighting men when I was 17. So perfect.
Never had a fist fight before then?
Loads. Me and my brother Shane had a fist fight earlier.
What, today?
Today, yeah.
What was that about?
Just arguing, just over stuff like tickets and whatever.
That sort of stuff crop up in fight week. I know tensions can sometimes get...
Yeah, everybody wants to come here and get tickets and mither me for stuff, and I need this to, I need that to, and I'm in a fight week, I don't want to know. But when I say this, then you want to punch me in the face, so I had to slip a few and nut him, you know.
Is that ideal? That sort of stuff happen?
It's life and it's reality, you know, it is what it is.
A lot of people, I was in New York a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people weren't talking about that fight, they were talking about what was coming next. I'm expecting you to get something very similar this week. How important is it for you to black that out?
What's happening next?
About whatever comes after Tom Schwartz?
Oh, I've no idea, I've no interest. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm retired after Tom Schwartz. That's how I look at it, you know. I don't look past anybody. So if I can't beat Tom Schwartz, then I ain't going to get another fight. Simple as. That's it. So I only take one fight at a time. I've said this my whole life. When I had Wilder signed before I fought Pianetta, I wasn't looking at Wilder, I was looking at Pianetta. And that's it, I'm looking at Tom Schwartz, and hopefully we'll have a good fight. I hope he chins me a couple of times. I hope I have to get up off the floor 3 or 4 times and slug a win out. I hope it's the toughest fight in my career. That's what I've trained for anyway.
You mentioned the Pianetta fight and having the Wilder fight signed before then, or pretty much good to go before then. You've now got, according to reports, 2 fights signed with Deontay Wilder. Obviously not looking past Tom Schwartz. Does it feel good to kind of have your career mapped out for the next few fights when you've had quite a lot of uncertainty in the past?
I've got some dates, but I might take them all up with Tom Schwartz in rematches and trilogies. What would it take for me and Tom Schwartz to go down as one of the best fights in history of boxing? What would it take for that to happen? Both knock each other down and keep getting up? I'm not sure. How would we elevate this fight into a massive global phenomenon where everyone I want to see a rematch again and again and again? What would we have to do? Is it possible?
I think it'd be quite difficult, purely because from the outside looking in, a lot of people see you as several levels above Tom Schwartz.
Yeah, but how do they see that? On what grounds and what terms do they see that?
A lot of people look at his fight with Sanad Gashi, who obviously just lost to Derek Chisora. That's probably one of the reasons they would look at that. Obviously, you being the lineal heavyweight champion, a lot of people consider you to have beaten Deontay Wilder, so I think that's probably where they get it from.
Yeah, but has he ever stepped up on the high level before? So he's untested, isn't he? He's untried. So we won't know what he's like until he actually goes in on that level. So you got to hold your judgment on someone who's never tasted in deep water before. He might be an Olympic gold medalist swimmer in the making, but we don't know until he gets in that deep water, and then we'll find out.
Final thing that I want to talk to you about, I was over in LA for the Wilder fight. You brought an army of travelling fans with you. we've seen English fans recently in the past kind of get into trouble. Your fans were impeccably behaved then. How many are you expecting to come back over for this one? Is it going to be the same sort of amount?
I think between 5,000 and 6,000 will be travelling over. So it's not bad, is it? For my first fight in Vegas, and I think when I fight here again in December, I'll bring 10,000, 12,000 over with me. So it'll be good.
Okay, well, Tyson Fury, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
All right, Mush. Take it easy.